Okay, right, what we're going to do today is to review a EVP session that was taken at a business address in Chester on the 31st of July 2020. This is about 2.5 months into this investigation. It's a particular property that, due to lockdown, has been completely empty. The business owner then fitted around about 3 CCTV cameras to each of the rooms, which are big offices, including this particular one, which is one empty office for security, obviously. The alarms then started to be received by the smartphones, and I'm reviewing. Incredibly, this place is simply just producing hundreds of object movements, light anomalies, raps, knocks and bangs, completely unexplained. It's literally hundreds, and we've initiated a series of tests. If it's building settlement, 160 tests were done about a week ago, come back completely negative. We can't get anywhere near the frequency that's been experienced in these, particularly with the raps. This is the old-fashioned one rap for, or one knock for yes, 2 knocks for no. Sounds a bit cheesy, but in certain occasions when you're dealing with an intelligence, this method uses. I reviewed this very quickly last night, and there is a system of answering by raps, as we'll hear. There's 2 investigators in this large room, which is measured about 55 foot in length by 35 foot wide, carpeted, completely open plan, not a piece of furniture in there, so it's quite hollow. And what we actually see with these raps is that between, say, 500 and 1000 hertz, this small frequency area here. There's no resonance, which you would expect if you were to make a noise within the building, and almost certainly going to see this. The frequency spread will be quite anything about 200 to maybe 5000 hertz. It's quite on these raps, which are very unique. This is how we're now beginning to formulate the theory that this is some form of, okay, it's got to be paranormal of some description, but we will look at this now in detail, and let's see if we can find some clues from it. So what we're actually looking for is there a rap to an intelligent question. There will be a serious amount of tagging taking place by the investigators, such as if they hear something, they may say where they feel it's coming from, either at the roof or from the skirting board or the wall area. That helps us visualise where that's coming from, and they are hearing these raps, and it does have a location, certainly within the building. This is the EVP recorder, digital recorder is Olympus, and there's also backed up by a Roland R26 recorder, which is running throughout as well. So we're able to switch from one audio recording device to another. So we'll make a start. I'm quite sure there'll be a few pops and bangs at the start as these 2 settle down, and I think the total video is a little under 13 minutes long. Okay, we may be some stopping and starting because we're going to mark this when we hear a rap to see if it is in response to a question. Another thing that we're going to watch out for is the sequence of the raps after the question has been asked. What we have noticed, there's a definite mathematical sequence to it. So for example, if you ask a question 8 seconds later, you'll get an answer. You ask another question 8 seconds later, you get an answer. It's that type of sequence that we're also looking for, which gives us the clues when we're trying to formulate what exactly is taking place in this particular building in Chester. So let's make a start. If I do need to talk, because this is going to be quite loud, quick one before I do press start. Right hand side is the spectrum analyzer. That does nothing more, gives me the sequence. Blip there, you'll be able to see it jump, as you can see there. And what we can do, we can actually freeze the frequency if we need to. What I've also done, I've got an EQ. I'm not actually using any EQ unless I get some troublesome frequencies. But what I am going to do, I'm going to increase the volume level by about 15 to 16 decibels to bring the volume so you can hear it now go a lot louder.
Okay, Amanda.
It just makes things like slightly easier. Just back that off a touch. Okay. Right.
Okay, Amanda and Andy in the room. Oh, right, I'm comfy. Sorted. Right, okay. There was a loud bang in here earlier. Was that down to spirit? We've put the pumps in to try and give you some energy, so if you're here, can you make that noise?
Okay, quickly, what Amanda's referring to, that we've had some EMF pumps in there. Basically what these are is just magnets that spin very quickly and produce EMF, the belief being that if you know, a spirit, where it needs to contact or get up to some sort of mischief, it needs some degree of energy to do that, because we know on certain occasions investigators have had EMF meters begin to trigger, which is suggestive of some form of spirit contact. So it's just the reverse of that. We're actually putting into the room the energy that may not be required by the spirit. So that's what Amanda's referring to.
Make that noise again for me, please.
Just hear a noise over there. It was only quite faint. Did you just hear a noise over there? It was only quite faint.
Okay, Andy's referring that you heard a noise over there. I can't hear anything, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the volume up quite high just to see if we can pick that up. Yeah, there's something, I think that may be what Andy's hearing. With this is that Amanda in particular is a seasoned investigator. If she hears anything, because they're in the middle of the room, sat on chairs, if she hears anything, she will know where that's coming from, and if she can bump such, for example, outside the building, because it's a business park and it's incredibly quiet. If you drive a car in there, the investigator, you definitely hear it. I can't compromise the location. The reason why I'm being incredibly careful by not saying any more than it's near Chester, but it's a business park, very quiet. It's lockdowns on anyway, so we're confident that if one of the investigators refers to a noise, it's actually coming from in the room. Okay, and like I said earlier, we can rule out any form of building settlement, because we've actually looked in that in great detail, and we can completely rule it out because of the frequency span. Okay. Yeah, it's quite low in volume. I think that's what Andy's referring to.
Did you just hear a noise over there?
Yeah.
It was only quite faint.
Yeah.
I think that's one of them normal clicks.
Yeah, they're not sure.
We'll be leaving soon, so do you have anything you would like to say before? We'll be leaving soon, so we'll be leaving soon. So, do you have anything you would like to say before?
If you listen carefully, as she's just finished what she's saying, there is this little rap sound. If you listen carefully.
We'll be leaving soon. So, do you have anything you would like to say before we do? Do you have any messages for Andy? numerous devices dotted around. Could you try and communicate via one of those for us? I don't know if it's the yan pumps or not, but the room feels really heavy.
It does. I feel like there's some, I don't know, I feel like there's something over there in that sort of corner of the room.
Which one?
Oh, just over there in the corner.
And
by
left?
the lights, yeah.
Okay. If you want, ask some questions about the white anomaly that we picked up.
Have we seen you before in here? Have you shown yourself in front of the camera? That was, yeah, that's...
Okay, it's indicated then. These are the types of sounds we're hearing in the building. We just can't find a rational reason for these, and believe you me, we put some hours into trying to find out what is going on. Is it the building making sound? But to no avail. So yeah, that's very distinctive. I've heard these 1,000 times. I'm so used to these sounds. Let's loop that back. And the guide can actually hear this as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it up so we can get some frequency here to give us an indication whereabouts that is. Bit of that's bleeds, high M continuum. Now here we go. There you go, 500,000, very exact. As it lifts, you can see. Turn up a little bit more. That there is just background noise because I've turned the volume. I've actually amplified it. There we go. That's that very distinguished. Turn it back to 0. Very distinct, and no resonance whatsoever. The one that's quite baffling. So that's the sound we're looking at. Now what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to go backwards. The reason for that is I'm testing the theory out that after the question the rap then occurs. So yeah.
If you want, ask some questions about the white anomaly that we picked up.
Have we seen you before in here? Have you shown yourself in front of the camera?
Right. That's the last question.
To the camera.
Okay, so we're happy with that as a question. So what we're going to do now is a simple counting method of how long this is before we hear the rap. So
have you shown yourself in front of the camera?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. I think we can agree with that. So the rap we know about, and we can say that's 9 seconds. We'll look at rap 1. Easy to find, but go back to it later. There you go. Amanda and Andy both acknowledging now that you could hear it from the skating board area. That appears to be, no matter where the sound comes from, it's always from like the skirting board, which is quite unusual.
If you're actually in here, is it possible to ask you to make a noise of some sort? Something we'll recognise.
See what I mean about movement?
Yeah.
Did you hear the shuffle?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Now they're indicating they've got a shuffle.
Noise of some sort. Something we'll recognise.
See what I mean about movement?
Yeah.
Did you hear the shuffle?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Something we'll recognise.
See what I mean about movement?
Yeah, I can't hear anything. I'm turning this up quite high. I'm not saying there wasn't a sound, but certainly not something that we can hear there.
Yeah.
Did you hear the shuffle?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Are you moving around the room at the moment?
You made one of the bulbs light up the last time we were here. Can you do that for us again?
Yeah.
You're sorry.
There's any noise there. We're going to record it anyway.
You made one of the bulbs light up the last time we were here. Can you do that for us again?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's there. Yeah, it's there. You missed that
You
one.
made one of the bulbs light up the last time we were here. Can you do that for us again?
Okay, I counted 6 seconds there for that particular one, so it's 6 seconds. That's presuming, and we question mark that, and we'll, if need be, we will refer back to it. We'll call it wrap 2, double question mark, so we're not sure.
You're sorry. I just heard another thud down just as you watched. You said something. Yeah.
If these noises are down to spirit, can you do it twice for me?
That was the aircon.
Well, that's quite an interesting one. I could lost me.
So something just switched off up here.
Yeah, there's the noise. Just,
That was the aircon.
yeah, he's saying it's the aircon. Air conditioning unit. The room has got 3 air conditioning units. Obviously, they're switched off with large grills.
If these noises are down to spirit,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That was the aircon.
39 seconds. Okay, the guys can clearly hear this, and it's 9 seconds after the question is asked. And what she's saying is can you do more than, I think it's more than one knock. Let's just have a listen. Okay, there's the noise.
Yeah, it sounds like it's up there. Yeah.
If these noises are down to spirit, can you do it twice for me?
Yeah, what she's saying, can you, if it is spirit, can you make the noise twice for her? That's quite intriguing. This is exactly 9 seconds again between the question asked and the noises. Right, okay. Is this intelligence? Certainly, because one of the questions about this building is, are we talking about a surface contact for these raps, knocks and bangs to be heard, or are we talking about some sort of sound projection? Now, Andy's obviously heard that's what his man, he's know the building better than anybody. He said it came from the air conditioning unit, which is a very large grill, maybe 3 foot square, quite large. Seems to think it comes from that. So that sort of suggested that it is a surface sort of contact rather than a specific sound projection into the area. But there's certainly some sounds going on there. Around there, you can see there, and we can hear that. Okay, interesting. Right, I'll mark this, we'll call this aircon noise. Right, we'll move on. Yeah, they're acknowledging they could hear that. The room is in complete darkness as well. Yeah, the room is in darkness. Just raises the sense.
Did you just try and look it then?
Yeah, I think it's a fridge, but I've just seen 2 fingers up here.
Did you just try and look it then?
Can you do it again?
I can hear something to my left. I can hear something to my left.
Difficult. I'm not so sure with that one.
I can hear something to my left.
Although Andy's saying there is. I can't hear anything on that. Ah,
No, but that's the roof, that looks like.
yeah. Yeah, there's two there. Amanda clearly hears it as well. Very, very low in volume. Can't even get a frequency on that. Okay. We'll note it anyway. Okay.
No, but that's the roof, that looks like.
Yeah, the indicating it's come from the roof
Can I do
area.
something so I know that you're okay? I need to know that you're happy here. Ed, I need to know that you're happy here.
A very distinctive sound.
I need to know that you're happy here.
1, 2, 3. About 3 seconds.
You need to do something significant, something different. I know that you're okay. I need to know that you're happy here.
Yeah, about 3 seconds. Very low volume. They're not indicating they could hear it, which is just sort of suggest that it was low in volume. Okay, we've noted that down anyway. They're certainly not indicating they could hear that.
You need to do something significant, something different.
Not sure what to make of that one. Amanda's asking for something to be done differently. So let's go back to what she says here.
Something different. Something different.
This is one of those, it's just difficult to be absolutely certain. So we're going to call it 2 raps, so we know what it refers to, and a couple of question marks will normally get the attention. It was just simply not sure what that is. Is it a different sound for the question that Amanda's clearly asking? Do some, make a different sound, do something different. No, I don't know. Right. Okay, as you can see there, it's quite a lot, because I've increased the actual amplification. I've got a lower high-end noise there, which is troublesome. So it's a frequency we're not interested in. So I'm actually going to drop that out up to. So we're only interested really up to 5,000 Hertz, which is that band there. That should now disappear, which it has. It's gone. So that's fine. Ooh, that's a loud one.
That sounded like.
That is a loud one. You can see all the frequency left up there, which is what we'd expect. Right, okay. We'll call it loud rap. It's very typical of what we're hearing there. There's been quite some delay between the original question, which is those 2 quite strange raps. So that was it, 5:46. It's 6 seconds. It's 14 seconds plus a further 8, so it's 22 seconds, quite a long time that, and they haven't actually said anything between there, so that is certainly not an answer to any question, that's for certain. But powerful loud one. Ooh, yeah.
That sounded like ceiling or something.
Can you touch Andy?
Ceiling or something.
Can you touch Andy?
Question from Amanda there is, can she touch Andy, a colleague? And it appears to then be a rap.
Can you touch Andy?
There. It actually sounds like a voice. Didn't get any some volume. That actually sounds like a voice. Incredibly low in volume. The difficulty with EVPs, it's such low volume like this. That's presuming. I don't think it's a rap or knock. Sitting with with voices, there's many of you would have realised the word pareidolia. It's the ability of the brain to get hold of random data and make something up. It does it with images, the reason why we see faces. It also does it with sound. You hear a sound and your brain will interpret it and give it to you, so you can get very different views on what that might be saying if it is an EVP. Those people are not sure what I mean by that, go to YouTube, Peter Kay's misheard lyrics, and you can find out exactly what happens when you misinterpret what someone is saying. So let's have another listen back. I can probably slice that bit out and enhance that, but it's quite a low grade. EVPs are graded anyway, type A, type B, type C, and so on. That's quite a low grade. You can never make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. I'm just not. What sounds weird to me with this one, it actually says touch you. I think it says touch you, but I have got the power of suggestion mixed in, because what Amanda's saying here, can you touch him? Can you touch Andy? So the power of suggestion's already been planted in my brain. I can now hear a voice, and I'm thinking that the voice is actually saying touch you or touch me. Have a listen. Write in the comment box what you think. It may well be different. Any thoughts, always appreciative. I'm not saying for a moment that I'm right with that. I'm just certainly not. I've been wrong with it many times. But let's listen through where Amanda is actually saying for something to touch Andy, and then we have this anomaly, we'll call it.
Like ceiling or something.
Can you touch Andy?
Yeah, it's very distinctive. This could be down to the power of suggestion.
Can you touch Andy?
Touch you. I could work a little bit, spend some time on this and on the EQ and drag that up, because it's just completely flat at the moment. I've not EQ'd it. I'm going to look at this one separately because it's quite intriguing that Amanda says can you touch Andy, and it sounds very much like an EVP, very low in volume, difficult to make out complete, but it does sound like touch you or touch me.
Can you touch Andy? Can you touch Andy? Can you
Interesting one. Who knows? Let us know your thoughts in the comment box. So I'm actually going to mark that as a possible EVP, low volume EVP. Right. Interesting one.
give Andy the experience of feeling spirit?
Ooh, that's a loud one.
Feeling spirit? Feeling spirit?
See the little jump there?
Experience of feeling spirit?
Yeah, that's quite a rep. It's very occurs very quickly after Amanda's talking.
The experience of feeling spirit.
1, 2, about 3 seconds. Yeah, 3 seconds to say. Well, the one before was 3 seconds. That's interesting. Well, okay.
The cameras are going to be on all weekend. If you don't like them, can you tell us? Can you turn one of the devices off yourself?
Right, that's interesting. A bit of a backstory is when we were there on the 11th of July, we captured 6 EVPs. Again, they're on our YouTube channel. And they're all relative to equipment such as it's turned on, switch it off, it's over there, that type of thing. Which is striking because all 5 of the 6 were pointing towards some sort of references to equipment. So what Amanda's actually saying here is that there are 3 cameras installed in this building, so we can monitor it 24 hours a day. The reason why we've got so much evidence from this building, and it's not just raps and notes, it's visual stuff as well, some real strange light anomalies. She's saying if you don't want the cameras on it this weekend, let us know. And it seems to be very distinctly minimum, maybe 2 or 3 raps, which is different than the single raps we've been hearing so far. So let's just go back to where Amanda's talking here.
If you don't like them, can you tell us?
There you go.
Can you turn one?
1, 2.
The cameras are going to be on all weekend. If you don't like them, can you tell us?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Can you turn one of the devices?
That appears to be 2 raps. Right, okay, that is an interesting one. There's also 7 seconds when the question was asked. Yeah. Yeah, very, very clear.
If you don't like them, can you tell us?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 seconds, 6 or 7
If
seconds.
you don't like them, can you tell us?
Right, interesting one.
Can you turn one of the devices off yourself?
Yeah, I sort of did have an earlier 2 rap for a no. Intriguing. Okay. Right, we're into 7 seconds. Sorry, 7 seconds. Just over 7 minutes. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to end this video here. So This is going to be about 15-20 minutes already, and I like to keep the movies down to around that sort of time, otherwise it's going to get boring if it's not already. So I'm going to end it there. I'll call this part 3, and I'll look forward to seeing you shortly on part 4.